Welcome to the unofficial, official number one Nintendo podcast. As the title says, there was one sad day in 2020 when Nintendo took down one of my YouTube videos. We're going to dive into that very soon. Welcome to the Mario Matter, your favorite Nintendo podcast episode 90. Episode number 90. It's been some ride. It's been some journey. Ever since I began the show in June of 2022, we're now at episode 90 in the end game to episode 100. It's been one heck of a ride, my friends. Welcome to the show. I am your host, EmSwizzle or Max. Yes, my YouTube name is EmSwizzle, and my real name is Max. I feel like I have to say that because it seems like no one knows my first name. A lot of you do. But I have to make it real public because, you want to establish that personal connection, as they say in the industry. I'm just kidding, my friends. But as of posting, it is May 25th on a fine Saturday of 2024. Paper Mario, the Thousand-Year Door, just released this week. We'll dive into that later in the show. But speaking of diving into things later in the show, what is this structure of this episode going to look like? Well, in just a few minutes here, we're going to dive into Nintendo news from the past 7 days, the past week. There's a lot of cool things to talk about. After that, we get into our second big segment where I discuss my first impressions on Paper Mario, the Thousand-Year Door, the remake. Should you buy it? Am I enjoying it? How far into it am I? Is it worth the $60? All that kind of good info. We'll dive into that as our second segment. As our third segment, we will dive into the time Nintendo took down one of my YouTube videos. People like those kinds of stories, and so I was like, what can I bring to this podcast today that people would like? And I think people like those kinds of stories. So yeah, I'm gonna tell that story. It was fun, and it was kind of scary for me. But I'll dive into that later. Feel free to skip there if you want. Please don't. But if you want to, then sure. Okay, fine. And then after that, we dive into our final segment of every podcast episode, the Answering Your Questions segment, the Q&A segment, where I, of course, answer your questions you have left me. It's one heck of an episode, my friends. But if you do want to skip to any certain segment or topic of the show, feel free. There are timestamps down below in the description. This is my second time recording this intro because the first time that I did, a ad started playing on my computer because I left a website open and it scared me and I had to close it. It totally interrupted my intro, but I'm here now. Paper Mario's here. I raised the camera a little bit from last episode, so you have a higher angle of me. It looks almost the exact same, but it's a bit different. Either way, my friends, you don't care about that. You care about Nintendo news, and I'm gonna go ahead and get right to it. Let's get to the Nintendo news.
Welcome to the Mario Matter, the number one Nintendo podcast.
I'm not even kidding. The first time that I tried to record my intro to this podcast, some ad was playing on my computer. It sounded like a fire alarm. But anyways, guys, it's all good. You have made it to the Nintendo news headlines segment. And what that is in this purple hat right here, I've got 8 pieces of paper, all that have Nintendo news on them from the past 7 days. And we are going to run through them randomly. So I'm going to go ahead and shake up this hat. But before I do that, actually, because I have forgotten, I'm still getting into the routine of remembering to do what I'm about to do right here. We have a little fun trivia question to kick off this segment. And then at the end of the podcast, I will tell you the answer to this trivia question. So think about it the entire episode and stay tuned for the answer. Today's trivia question is, what is the maximum amount of Joy-Con controllers that can be connected to one Nintendo Switch simultaneously? Don't think too hard. Is it A, 4? Is it B, 10? Is it C, 8? Or is it D, 2? How many Joy-Cons can connect to one Nintendo Switch? Please don't think too hard. Anyways, guys, time to get into the news. Your answer for that will be at the end of the show. Let's go ahead and let's dive into our first piece here. Let's grab this piece of paper. Hopefully it's a good one. If it's not a good one, I might actually put it back. Oh yeah, this is a great one to start with. Oh man, guys. So as we mentioned, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. It just released this week. You know, everyone's picking it up. I'm actually recording this podcast on launch day, which is May 23rd, and I normally record this podcast every Friday, but I'm actually doing some stuff tomorrow, so I can't record it on Friday. So I'm recording this on a Thursday, and guess what, guys? Just 2 days ago, Tuesday, or maybe was it Wednesday? It might have been Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Our first piece of news. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door has leaked online. And I'm not talking like, oh, screenshots of the game have leaked, videos of the game. The entire game ROM file has leaked online. Now, the purpose of me reading this piece of news is not to tell you to go and pirate the game. I can't encourage that on YouTube, but it's an interesting piece of news. And this piece of news will have no spoilers, so don't even worry about that. But yeah, you know, reports came out Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, the game leaked. And you might be wondering, how does that happen? How does a game get leaked like that? I mean, there's a bunch of different ways, but a lot of the time, either Amazon or Target or whoever ships out a copy early, someone gets it, some greedy Gus, and dumps the files online. That's like the biggest way. Sometimes you'll have some store employee sneak it home with them, because like GameStop, Target, they get their copies like days in advance. So you'll have the typical employee sneak one into his back pocket and walk right out. Any of these ways, games get leaked, and I mean, I don't download them, but it's cool for those who do. Well, I can't encourage piracy. It's illegal. Don't pirate games. I have to say that. I don't know what to say. It sounds like I'm encouraging piracy. It leaked. Cool information, right? That's all I can say. Go buy the game, $60. All right, next piece of news. I thought it was interesting, but I can't say like, yeah, kids, go download it. I can't say it's like, what do I say about that? I don't know. Cool piece of news, though. All right, next piece of Nintendo news. Let's shake up the hat and let's grab this piece of news. Seems rather spicy. Oh, ho, 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 ho. More Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door news. And guess what? This piece of news is technically free, as in you can participate in this for free. The headline reads, My Nintendo has released free Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door items. This is always great. My Nintendo is awesome. They put out little freebies for you to download or buy or get shipped to your house whenever a cool game comes out. They do wallpapers, they do physical things, and this is no different. This is no different. So, My Nintendo has released 4 pretty much free. Just pay shipping for like one of them. Nintendo Paper Mario items. Let's run through what the items are. So, the first and probably best item that you can get for free, just pay shipping, on My Nintendo is they've released a Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door notepad, plus a special paper airplane. That's freaking cool. So if you need somewhere to write your notes, you need somewhere to write down notes to keep track of where you are in the game, that's a little notepad for you, and they even include a special paper airplane. The airplane part is cool. Like, you can get a notepad from anywhere. You can get one at Walgreens, you can get one at Target, Amazon, it doesn't matter. But with the freaking paper airplane, that's exclusive merch. I would rather just have the paper airplane. Do you know what they should have done? They should have collaborated with like a McDonald's or something and put Paper Mario paper airplane crafts in Happy Meals. Do you know how dope that would be? Do you know how cool that would actually be? All these kids making Paper Mario paper, I'm saying paper a lot, Paper Mario paper airplanes. That's actually cool. Nintendo, hire me, please. I get your products out there. But if you do want the notepad and paper airplane, it will cost you 550 platinum points, which are free to earn. If you're in need of earning quick platinum points, head over to the Nintendo Switch Online app on your Switch. There's always missions to complete that'll get you some points. And it's available in the USA, Canada, and maybe other regions. Unconfirmed info there, but at least for the US and Canada, you have that. If you're in the UK, even if they don't have that in the UK, you cannot complain, because the UK got this crazy, I don't know what you call it, but it's like it's like a 3D model almost of the stage where Paper Mario battles on. Dude, that's so cool. It was a UK exclusive pre-order bonus. That's you can't complain. That's all you need. That's the greatest thing ever. Anyways, that's one of the items. The other three, which I'll kind of breeze by quick because they're not very mind-blowing. We got 3 printable bookmarks. We got a scrapbook kit. You can like cut out little, I guess, pictures of the characters and stuff and put them in a scrapbook. I'm not sure who you're giving that to, but that's cool. And then also a free wallpaper. Well, not free. You have to pay platinum points. Well, is it free? I think it's actually free. You get a free wallpaper for PC and mobile. How cool is that? Put the wallpaper on your phone, on your computer, on your family computer, everywhere. Now, what they really should be doing is putting that wallpaper on Switch so I can download a free Paper Mario Nintendo Switch home theme. Instead of like the basic white and basic black. Dude, give me the freaking Paper Mario home theme. That would be sick. But they don't want to give it to us. Anyways, guys, the links for all of that will be down below in the fantastic description of the show. Look down below. There will be a link called Sources and Links. Click that, and you will be able to find the link for the My Nintendo stuff. It's all great. It's all there, and enjoy all of that. With that said, let's go ahead. Let's grab our next piece of news here. Let's pick, this one right here. Let's see what this piece of news is, my friends. Ha. Look at this. Splatoon 3 news, my friends. If you played some Splatoon 3 last week, you might know there was a Splatfest in the game, and the winners of the End of the World Splatfest have been revealed. Alrighty, so, this isn't like the most mind-blowing piece of news, but I like to talk about it just because I not only love Splatoon, I love playing in any of these Splatoon Splatfests. It's like the highlight of my weekend, and I played in this one, and if you did too, you probably know who won by now, but it's always great to report and talk about it. So there were 3 teams in this new Splatfest theme. By the way, if you don't know what a Splatfest is, it's 3 teams in Splatoon competing. You pick a team based on, I guess, which one you like more, and you play matches, and whoever essentially wins the most games wins the entire Splatfest. And the theme for this Splatfest was, what would you do if the world was ending, right? And so there were 3 teams. There was team 1 was, I would do the same old stuff. Team 2 was, I would do my bucket list things. And I think team 3 was, I would help save the world. So team 2, team bucket list won. And guess what? I was on team bucket list, and guess what? When I was playing Splatoon 3 during the Splatfest, I don't think that I actually lost one game. I think I played 10 matches and won every single one. So if you were on Team Bucket List, you can thank me. I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to take credit. It was a full-on team effort, but bro, I was freaking killing it, you know? I've said it before, but when I play Splatoon, I'm not the kind of guy who is gonna like get all the kills. I just ink the most turf. Because that's how you win, you know? So that's how I play my Splatoon. How do you play your Splatoon? Let me know. But our next piece of news here, more Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door news. The reviews are in for Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door. That is our piece of news. So, this week, I was a tad bit excited, worried, anxious? What's the word for this? I was, one of those words, to see the reviews for Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door. Because if you guys watched my last podcast episode 89, I was talking about how I don't know whether or not I want to play the original 1,000-Year Door or the remake 1,000-Year Door. And so I figured I was going to see the reviews for this remake this week, and I would make my decision off of that. However, it hit me, no one out there, no Nintendo Life, IGN, whichever gaming outlet you can name, no one is going to give Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door, a bad review. If anyone did, you would be canceled. And I think one company actually, like Eurogamer Portuguese or whatever, Portugal, I think they gave it like a 65 out of 100. So, I don't know. But because the game is such a cult classic, and it's good, the game is obviously good, and it warrants these good reviews, right? Like, it's a good game. I just knew I couldn't go off of the reviews I was seeing to determine whether I like the game or not. You wouldn't see any critical or honest reviews, because if you saw them, if someone put those out, they'd get bashed. So, anyways, with all that context given, Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door, as of launch day, is currently sitting at an 88 out of 100 on Metacritic. So, an 8.8 out of 10, if that makes it any simpler for you. An 88 out of 100. Now, for comparison, can we actually pull up, can we see, are there two different pages for the GameCube version and the Switch version? Can we check that? Here, let's go Google right now, Metacritic.com. Metacritic.com. Guys, let's look it up together. So, on the homepage, you can see 1,000-Year Door. But if we type in Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door, pop up. Yes, okay. So, currently, as of launch day, this number might change as time goes on. It might not. On the Switch, it's rated 88. On the GameCube, it's rated 87. Okay. So, apparently, the Switch version is rated just a little bit higher, just a wee bit. Obviously, it's the same game. Obviously, it's just a remake, a very faithful one at that. But Switch version is rated higher. If you want to hear my thoughts, I'm going to dive into those later on in the show. It's a game, I can tell you that. Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door is a game. But most people gave it 9 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, somewhere in that range. There were a few 10 out of 10 reviews, but, final statement from all of these gaming outlets was, it's one of Nintendo's best RPG games. So, form your own opinion, but that's what the reviews are saying online. Let's grab our next piece of news here. What is this piece of news? Oh, this was kind of cool. This was actually pretty cool. Nintendo, the Nintendo store in the US, has restocked a bunch more amiibo. Who here likes amiibo? Raise your hand right now. I don't care if you're listening to the podcast in public or not. Raise your hand right now if you like amiibo. So, we know pretty recently, Nintendo has been putting out tons of amiibo. Not new amiibo, but restocked amiibo. They're restocking so many Smash Bros. Amiibo. For example, we saw the Sonic amiibo get restocked. We saw Isabelle, Villager, some of the Pokemon things. Tons of amiibo that weren't available for years after they came out are brought back again. So, Max, which ones have been restocked this time? Well, listener, a bunch. So, and by a bunch, I mean like 5, but like 5 really good ones. So, the first one, which everyone's kind of going nuts about, they have restocked in the US every single Mii Fighter amiibo. And can I tell you a story? In Smash Bros. Ultimate, main Mii Brawler, okay? Don't ask why, okay, whatever. I knew that I needed the Mii Brawler amiibo. I didn't pick it up when it first came out. I just didn't even know that it existed. That's the word. I didn't know that it existed. And I missed it. And I was like, you know what, man, I really want it. This was like 3 months ago. I really want it. So what I did was I ordered a brand new sealed one from Japan. It was only $50. And I say only because a sealed Mii Brawler amiibo, that sounds kind of pricey because they weren't restocked for a while back when I bought it. So $50 steel. It came 2 days later, believe it or not. And that was a good purchase for me. However, if I had just held off 3 months, all Mii Fighter amiibos right now are like $15. So, you play the game, you win some, you lose some. But those are restocked. In addition to that, we have the Pokemon Trainer, Pit, Dark Samus, King K. Rool, and tons more that I have not even named. They're all on the site. I believe if you're in the UK, Australia, wherever you are, I don't think Nintendo will ship them to you, but you can, if you're dying to get some amiibo, it's buying them from the US is probably not the best way to get them wherever you live, but you can probably find a way to order them from the US to wherever you live through a third-party service or something. So if you really want something there, you can get it, but that's for the US. The UK has seen a lot of Nintendo amiibo restocks also. So you're probably eating good. I don't know how Australia's doing. I'm not sure how... Okay, hold on. If they restock in the US, do they also restock in Canada? And that sounds like a dumb question, but I only ask that because when you order things from My Nintendo, you can order them from the USA and Canada. So do they just combine the two? I don't know. But at least for the US, you're getting your amiibo restock. It's very awesome. Go check it out. And I would honestly say if you have any itch to buy any of them, do it now, because who knows if after these waves of restocks go, if they'll ever come back in stock. Our next piece of news has to do with the Legend of Zelda movie, my friends. Who is excited? We won't be seeing this movie until probably 2027, if I'm being very honest. They'll probably, film this year maybe? Like the end of this year? I don't know how it works. And they're going to have to promote it. They're going to have to hope it doesn't bomb based on the trailers, and put it out at some point in late 26 or early 27 or so. It's going to be cool, but our piece of news reads, the Zelda movie is being made in, quote, closest possible collaboration with Shigeru Miyamoto. And if you do not know who Miyamoto is, he is the creator of Mario and Zelda? He created Zelda? Alexa, who created Zelda?
The Legend of Zelda
Shijiri. She called him Shijiri. His name is Shigeru, Alexis. So stupid. Anyways, I was right about that. Anyways, it's being made in the closest possible collaboration. Now, how do we know that, and why is that good? It's good because you obviously want the creator of what you're making a movie on to be involved. He knows the ins, the outs, and what he wants, right? So, Deadline did an interview with Sony Motion Pictures chairman named Tom Rothman, who is, of course, working on the movie. And he had to say this about the Zelda movie. Let's go ahead. Let's read this little quote here. Quote, because the movie is being developed and made in the closest possible collaboration with Shigeru Miyamoto, he's a true genius in that world. And it's really his strong vision that is motivating it. He created it and understands it thoroughly. You only have to look at the results of the Super Mario Bros. Movie to see. Very simple statement, but it sounds stupid that I'm even making a big deal out of that quote. You want Miyamoto to be as involved as possible. We can't just let corporate people run a Zelda movie. I'm sorry, we just can't allow it. We can allow some of it, because obviously they have to. This movie can't be a good movie without having good movie people involved, but you also need the other half, which is who knows about Zelda. So thankfully, Miyamoto is on board. That's awesome. I'm happy about it, okay? Great. Thank you, Miyamoto, for joining ship. Anyways, we have two pieces of Nintendo news left. Let's go ahead. Let's pick this one. I know one of them. Yes, this is the one I was thinking of. New Nintendo Switch Online icons have been released. How fun is that, guys? I actually bought some this morning. All right. So, as you know, if you do have a Nintendo Switch Online membership, new icons release every single week. What are the icons for this week? I believe I actually missed one. I think there's some Super Mario Bros. Wonder icons out now, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that. There's also, very timely, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door icons. Those are out right now. They change next Thursday, or next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. to be exact. And there are going to be 4 waves of the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door icons. So, this is the first wave. Next Wednesday night, they change to the second wave, and then, repeats, right? Those are out. And then also the final wave of Endless Ocean Luminous icons are out now. If you have any interest in getting the Endless Ocean icons, check them out. Honestly, the third wave, which is the, final icons they have, of Endless Ocean Luminous icons don't sound very exciting, but if you want them, you can get them. And that's coming from somebody who very much so liked Endless Ocean Luminous, and I say liked because I've not gone back to it, so I'm kind of iffy on the game now. I don't know. It's a cool game, but as I said, I haven't gone back to it. It's all right. Endless Ocean is whatever. Blah. Okay. Our final piece of news. Throw the hat down. What does this piece of news say? Oh, this was a big piece of news for people who are really involved in or not involved, but invested in, Nintendo's moves. And that kind of, includes me. I have a Nintendo podcast. I like talking about Nintendo. So obviously, I'm more looking at the news that comes out of Nintendo. And what news came out? Our headline reads, more Nintendo Switch ports might be on the way. So, that's the simple headline of what happened. The actual piece of news that happened was Nintendo has acquired Shiver Entertainment. not Shiver from Splatoon. Shiver Entertainment. And what that means is Nintendo, you know what? Let's put this in baby terms. Video game company bought other video game company. So that's stupid. Nintendo bought a freaking company called Shiver Entertainment, and they work on porting games to the Nintendo Switch, such as Mortal Kombat, Hogwarts Legacy, and Nintendo said, hey, come do some stuff for us. Now, I would imagine that they're still going to be working on porting third-party games over to Nintendo Switch. So when Switch 2 comes out, I'm not sure what games they're going to port, but I wouldn't be shocked if Nintendo says, hey, we want this game. Shiver, work on that right now. Get it on Switch 2. You know, when I first read this, I took it as, oh, they're going to be making Nintendo ports for Switch. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe they will, but I don't know if that's actually the case. What it sounds like to me, this piece of news, is Shiver Entertainment specializes in porting like third-party games, such as I said, Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat, and like kind of compressing them to fit on Switch. That's what it sounds like to me now. And Nintendo actually put out a little statement on buying Shiver Entertainment, and this is what they have to say. And they do kind of go into like what they're going to do. So let me go ahead, take a deep breath. Let's read this. So this is what they have said. I believe Shantaro Furukawa said this, which is the president of Nintendo. Nintendo will acquire 100% of the outstanding shares of Shiver and make it a wholly owned subsidiary. Did I say the word right? Anyways, by welcoming Shiver's experienced and accomplished development team, Nintendo aims to secure high-level resources for porting and developing software titles. Notice how they did not say Nintendo software titles. They are working on probably more third-party stuff. Going forward, even after it becomes a part of the Nintendo group, Shiver's focus will remain the same, continuing commissions that port and develop software for multiple platforms, including the Nintendo Switch. The acquisition will be completed pending satisfaction of all relevant customary closing conditions. What crazy words there. Can I Google the word that I mispronounced? Subsidiary. How do you pronounce this freaking word? Subsidiary. I said subsidiary. What did I say?
Subsidiary.
That's how you say that word that I mispronounced. Anyways, guys, I'm only human. That's a cool piece of news. I'm down for that. I'm down for more ports. Next thing you know, we're getting freaking GTA 6 on Switch 2. I wouldn't be shocked. That's what this company seems to, specialize in. So look forward to GTA 6, Switch 2, coming next year. I'm kidding. I don't know if that'll happen, but it'd be cool. And I've been hearing recently that Switch 2 is going to be freaking powerful. So who knows? Maybe we could have GTA 6 on Switch 2. But anyways, guys, that is it for the Nintendo news headlines for this week. But the show, as I always say, is far from over. Our next segment dives into my first impressions on Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. That's right. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door was revealed last September 2023, and we didn't have an exact day, but last Mario Day, March 10th, we got a release date for Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, May 23rd. It felt so far away, but the day's here. What do I think? Should you buy it? Is it worth $60? I played today, and I wrote down a few points that I want to talk about. Let's go ahead. Let's get to my first impressions on Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Let's skadoodle. It's a great day in the world of Nintendo when a brand new Paper Mario game drops. It's great, okay? Not only did we just have a Paper Mario game drop, we have the Paper Mario game many say is their favorite Paper Mario game, but not just that, some people say it's their favorite game of all time. And they just got it remade for Nintendo Switch. Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. What are my first impressions on it? Let's go ahead and let's talk about it. So, this morning, I get up around 7:45. I get breakfast. I work on podcast notes like podcast notes for what I'm doing now. And then I go to Best Buy when they open to pick up Thousand Year Door. I come home, I play it for, I think, an hour and a half, and I stopped playing right before the first chapter began. And that sounds bad, but the prologue is like an hour. So I played for like an hour. It was an hour and a half for me. I'm so slow, but, that's how that was. And I wrote down, let's see here, I wrote down some of my first impressions on my iPhone notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points that I want to hit on. And then at the end of me going over all these points in the game, I will let you know if this game is worth your money, if you should buy it, all of that. So stay tuned. All right. So as I was playing the game, I want to talk about this. Before I even began playing the game, I pressed A on my Nintendo Switch home menu to turn on Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. And, when you boot up a Nintendo Switch game, you don't expect much. You expect a black screen until your game loads. This threw me for a freaking loop, okay? When I booted up Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, the first thing that you see is a big red screen, and it has the Nintendo logo on it. That's not out of the ordinary. Like, that's fine. But I audibly said WTF. I mean, the actual phrase when it came up. I was like, I've never seen a game begin with a red background and a Nintendo logo. It was so weird for me. It was so weird. So that's the first thing. But into the actual game anyway, and what I liked about it, I gotta say, as soon as I began the game, I was debating on whether or not I should play the original game or the remake, and I decided to play the remake. And boy, did I make the right decision. My next point that I wrote down, this game is beautiful. This game is actually, what's another word that I can use? What's a word? What's a freaking word? This game was, beautiful fits it pretty well. This game was beautiful. The graphics are nice. I like them. Just seeing the freaking ship that takes you to Rogueport. Just seeing the nice pipes. I just couldn't get over how nice the game truly looked. I don't know how to put that into words without you seeing what I saw. I watched the trailers, right? I watched the overview trailer, the announcement trailer, but you don't take it all in as you watch that kind of trailer. You only take it in when you actually play the game. And I took it in. My second point was that the game is beautiful. My next point, as I was progressing through the game, and this is such a small detail, but I just couldn't get over it. It was so nice to me that I had to write it down to bring up on this podcast. And my next point that made this an enjoyable experience, I don't know if these were in the original game. The sound effects are so satisfying. It's not even funny, dude. When you're in the game and you have to make a decision and ask you, It'll ask you like yes or no. Just the sound, the freaking sound when you press yes. Oh my god. You need to play the game, guys. Go listen to the sound effects. Those were awesome. And here's probably the biggest point that I have written down on my notes here. One that a lot of people, I think, want to know about. This game dropping from 60 frames per second on the original to being only 30 frames per second on the Switch. I'm not trying to suck up to this game, but honestly, the drop from 60 to 30, I didn't really mind once I got into the game. So a few weeks ago, it was confirmed the game is 30 frames per second, which if you don't know, if you have no idea what that means, it means the game's choppier. It's just not as smooth, right? That came out. There was controversy, and me more than anyone, honestly, I was kind of dreading playing this game for a big reason. I mean, like, I love my 60 frames per second. And when I heard it was 30, I was like, I kind of want to play the original because that's 60 frames per second. When I got into the game, yes, it's immediately noticeable. The drop to 30 frames per second is very noticeable. But it didn't really bother me because with a game like Princess Peach Showtime, that being 30 frames per second, the whole game just kind of like looked bad. I mean, I can't lie. The game looked bad, right? With Paper Mario, it didn't affect me because the rest of the game was so beautiful. The drop to 30, for me anyway, and I hate 30 frames per second. For me, it didn't really bother me. As I got deeper into the game, I wrote down here, the game is great for Paper Mario beginners. If you have never played a Paper Mario title before, this game teaches you everything. I mean, even me, who has only ever played one Paper Mario game to completion in his life, being the N64 one, I came into this game right here, Thousand Year Door, and everything it was teaching me, I felt like I already knew. And I bring that up so I can then say, yes, they teach you everything that you need to know. They teach you how to battle. Obviously, it'd be weird if they didn't. They teach you about star points. They teach you star power. All of the battling stuff. Everything is taught to you. Everything's taught. I will say there are some Nintendo games that do a better job of reminding you of the story in the previous game. So, for example, if Thousand Year Door gave you a little flashback to Paper Mario N64, that would have been a bit better for me. I feel like during the intro to the game, you don't get as much of an idea of what happened in the game just before this one, you know? So you don't really get a glimpse of the Paper Mario 64 story in the intro, as far as I understood anyway. But in terms of everything else, you would be fine jumping in to this game as your first Paper Mario game. That would be fine. And also, one thing that I didn't really notice in the announcement trailer or in the overview trailer, because, like, it's different when you play a game and when you watch a game. When I watch it, I'm not seeing every detail. When I play it, I see everything. I knew that battles took place on a stage in this game. I did not know. I mean, I knew, but like I didn't know that it was like such a factor. I didn't know that this was such a factor. There's an audience when you're battling. There's an actual audience. There's Toads, there's Goombas, and you might look at me and be like, Max, were you blind? That was everywhere in the trailer. And my answer is I probably am blind because I didn't like take note of that. But the more audience members you have in the game, the more your star power rises. And that's so cool to me. I love just having an audience. And I also love the fact that battles are on a stage, because for me, who started playing on Paper Mario the N64 game, there was no stage, there was no audience in that game when you would battle. The fact that the fact that there's an audience now, that's cool for me, dude. I like that. They like get to watch you battle, and I like that part. And then my final note that I have written down, just all in the first hour and a half. By the way, no negative points. My final point is I like how, and I'm not sure if this was in the original game, I like how you can get a partner hint, and you know what that is if you're stuck, you can hit a button, and your partner tells you what to do or where to go. I like that because I suck at some games like this, and I need to be told where to go. For example, I didn't need it right here, but I used it just to kind of get a feel of how the feature works. I used the partner hint feature on my way to Petal Meadows, and if you don't know, you have to form into a paper airplane to get there. And I used the hint, and Goombella was like, yeah, maybe we can get there if you turn into a paper airplane. So that kind of gives you a hint. Oh, I have to go over here, paper airplane, and then I can get there. Like, it's a good hint. I mean, I didn't have to, explain it to you. It's an obvious feature, but I like that. I like having hints. I get stuck often, so that's cool for me. I like the partner hints. And you're probably waiting for what I don't like about the game. Can I be honest? 1 hour and a half in, I didn't find anything that I don't like aside from the fact the game's not 60 frames per second. But I already said I'm fine with that. I got used to it pretty quick. Apart from that little gripe, the game is freaking awesome. Now, that's being only 1 hour and a half in. Imagine what this 30-hour game is going to look like. So, based on my hour and a half of gameplay, based on my first impressions, based on what I thought of the game so far, you're probably now asking me these questions. Max, should I buy it? Max, is it worth 60? Max, blah, right? What are your thoughts? Well, I just told you. Should you buy Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on Nintendo Switch? And, before I answer that, I want to pull up a poll that I put out on my YouTube. I put out this poll. Are you picking up Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door for Nintendo Switch? 12% of people out of 1,500 votes, 12% say, I'm getting it this week / already have it. 31% say, I'm going to get it at some point. 18% say, I'm still thinking about it. And 38%, the leading vote, says, absolutely no interest. Can I just ask, I'm not trying to suck up to Nintendo or anything. Can I just ask those 38% of people, unless you chose that answer because you already played the GameCube version, what games are you playing? If you have no interest in Paper Mario, what games are you playing? Like DC Superhero Girls? I'm not trying to roast you. I just I just want to know. Okay. So here's what I did. I commented on that post. If you aren't interested, why not? We have 12 replies. Someone says my parents hate video games. That's fair. See, I understand this. Someone said I own the GameCube version, and I don't I don't feel like supporting Nintendo right now. Okay. Someone said I'm not interested right now, but maybe in the future because hard for me to choose games since not a lot of money. Yeah, I mean the money thing makes sense. Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have roasted you guys. I can understand that. If you're, if you don't have, if you're very selective of which games you want to buy for Switch, I could understand that. But wouldn't that mean that you would want to get it at some point? Wouldn't you vote for that option? I don't know. Someone says, the new games I'm more interested in are Rocket Knight, and then they like name like 5 other games. Yeah, I mean, I understand it. I understand. Can't get. Yeah, I mean, people are saying that they can't get it because like money reasons. I fully understand. I'm just saying, like, does it mean that you have no interest, or does it mean that you can't get it right now? I don't know. I guess it means no interest. I understand. I shouldn't have roasted you guys talking about DC superhero girls. I just think this game's great, you know? And that's based off 1 hour and a half. Imagine what people think after playing all 30 hours. And yes, it's a 30-hour game. I had to Google it. You know, that's just me off of 1 hour and a half. I have heard some things about it, about there being like some annoying backtracking. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm gonna figure it out. I don't like backtracking though. I don't like to do that. It'll be fine. This game is looking great. Max, should I buy the game? If you have the funds, yes. If you don't have the funds, no. I'm kidding. I would say if you're on the fence, answer this question. Not are you interested in the game? Are you at all interested in the Paper Mario series? If your answer is yes, then buy it. Because, as someone who's never played all of the Paper Mario games, I can confidently say this is probably, according to other people too, probably the best Paper Mario game. I've not beaten it, I've not played every single one, but based on popular opinion, based on reviews, based on my first hour and a half, this is probably the best ever Paper Mario game. So I would say if you have interest in Paper Mario, there's probably not a better game to play, which is why I say if you say yes to that question, buy the game. That's what I'd say. I mean, what I can also say is if you are trying to pick like, okay, I have $60, which game do I want to play? Do I want to buy this game, that game, Paper Mario? Paper Mario definitely gets you a lot of bang for your buck. As I've mentioned, the game is, I think, a 31-hour game. Bro, that's less than $2 per hour of playing Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. That's a meaty little game for $60. That has some content to it. 30 hours of gameplay. As opposed to like, I don't know, some game like Princess Peach Showtime. $60, 7 hours of gameplay. $60, 31 hours of gameplay for Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. So, there are games that are less worth it. I would say Thousand Year Door is worth it. And that's my first impressions on the game. First impressions, let me know if you all are playing it. Let me know what you think of the game down below. If you're on a platform that can comment, let me know. It'll be great. That's my thoughts. Let me know yours. And with that said, let's get to our next topic where I talk about the time Nintendo took down one of my YouTube videos. It was a sad day, a fearful day, and a bit of a weird one. Let's go ahead. Let's discuss. My friends, if you have ever received an email saying, hey, your video has been copyright claimed by Nintendo, I know you have felt the heart drop. You have felt the heart drop that, can be compared to like if you lost your phone and you reach in your pocket and your phone is not there. You have felt the heart drop. You feel that heart drop. And I did too when Nintendo took down one of my YouTube videos. And today, I'm telling the story of how it all happened. So, it's very important to give some context because I think probably at most one person listening was watching my channel during this period. and that was May of 2020, okay? Before I had like 400 subscribers. I was very small, so I'm not sure how they even saw me, to be honest. I was smaller, and I didn't do, shorts weren't a thing yet. I mean, like TikTok was. Shorts was not big if it was a thing on YouTube. And so I was just a little Animal Crossing New Horizons channel, because that game had just came out 2 months prior, and I was making a lot of Animal Crossing New Horizons content on YouTube. And, I was big into the Animal Crossing updates, the Animal Crossing community. If you go back, not on this channel, but on my main YouTube channel, EmSwizzle, you'll see hundreds, over like 400, 500 Animal Crossing videos. Maybe like 800, man. I made so many Animal Crossing videos. You'll see tons. And there was just one video from that era that got taken down. So, how did this happen, okay? I think it's important to dive into an article that covered this story. So, I am now reading an article from a website called animalcrossingworld.com, okay? And the headline reads, this is what my video was about. This article is not about me, but it's about somebody who did the same thing that I did and also had their video taken down. The headline of the article is Nintendo Copyright Claims Duplication Glitch Video for Animal Crossing New Horizons. Fix coming soon? So, let's read the article written by Justin from Animal Crossing World. You've no doubt heard about the latest duplication glitch in Animal Crossing New Horizons recently, and Nintendo isn't too happy about it. We've avoided covering this duplication glitch so far, and others in the past on Animal Crossing World, as I personally believe these bugs are harmful to the game's long-term longevity, and would prefer to limit their spread. However, the cat's definitely out of the bag on this one. It appears that Nintendo isn't a big fan of instructions for this glitch being broadcast either, as we've spotted at least one widespread video with over 350,000 views on YouTube covering the duplication exploit receive a copyright claim from Nintendo. Now that video, 350,000 views, was not mine. I, too, made a duplication glitch video where I taught people how to do it. I think I received 2,000 views before mine was taken down. The person with the 350,000, I believe was, Abdallah Smash, if you know who that is. I think he made a video and his was taken down. This entire article is about his video being taken down. And, I made a similar video. I think that we made ours like the same time because this glitch, I think, came out like on Twitter. And so every Animal Crossing YouTuber who, didn't care about their channel getting copyright claimed made a video on it like at the same time. And so Nintendo found out about it and they were like, oh boy, copyright claim. Now here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. This is where it gets pretty interesting. As I have said, I, at the time, was a YouTube channel with 400 subscribers, and I bet you right now, I can search up Animal Crossing duplication glitch and find videos. New Horizons duplication glitch. And find videos from 4 years ago showing the exact same glitch. Yes, here it is. Here's one right here from More Skills Gaming on YouTube. People still show this Animal Crossing duplication glitch. But in May of 2020, Nintendo got upset and they took down tons of videos. I don't know how they found mine. My video was about at 2,000 views, which was really good for me. I think it was my most viewed video at that time. I think it was. Because back in May of 2020, I was just making like Animal Crossing fish tutorials, Animal Crossing bug tutorials, things like that. It was never, hey, duplication glitch. It was some outside of the box things, but it was never like this. What I guess happened was Nintendo was like, hey, this glitch is out there. And you have to kind of, remember, Animal Crossing New Horizons was a game that was bigger than life when it came out. Gigantic game. I think Nintendo went on YouTube and was like, hey, there's a new duplication glitch. Let's patch the game and let's take down every single one of these videos. And I think what they must have done was just strike down every single duplication glitch video and take it down. Now, I think I can pull up the email, and I probably should have done it before. Can I pull up the email? Do I have my email here? YouTube. I don't know, dude. It's so old. It's such an old email. Do I? Oh, I might be able to get it. Oh, snap. Can I get it? It's so old. I don't think I can get it. No, I should have pulled it up before. But essentially, what it is if I search up copyright in my email, I can read you pretty much what the email said. So it pretty much said something along the lines of this. It's loading right now. Nope. Okay. It said this. Hey, EmSwizzle. A copyright claim has been created on one of your videos. Copyright owner, Nintendo. Copyrighted video. And then it was my video title. It was pretty much that. And me being, how old was I? I think I was 13 when I made that video in 2020. Yeah. That's right, because I'm 17 now. Yeah. Me being 13, seeing a freaking YouTube copyright claim email in my inbox was probably one of the most terrifying things. And there's a difference between a YouTube copyright claim and a strike. It wasn't a strike. A strike, like, that's bad. A strike, if you get 3 strikes, your channel gets deleted. It was a claim, meaning, hey, cool video, your channel ain't really affected, but we just can't have this on YouTube. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's not like, hey, if you do that again, your channel's, deleted. Wasn't that bad. But that's essentially what it was. And it was like this kind of big controversy in the Animal Crossing community. It was big because, once again, as I need to remind you, Animal Crossing New Horizons was huge in 2020. If you were not there, I mean, this was probably one of the biggest games. Can I say this? Can I say it was one of the biggest games of the 21st century so far? This game was massive back then, bro. Everyone and their mom was just playing Animal Crossing all day in quarantine, right? And so the reason why I say that is because if there's a duplication glitch, people are running to it. And also, Nintendo has a bigger eye on taking down that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's how my video got taken down. And my title was also pretty catchy. It was like 100,000 bells in 2 minutes. And, that was true. That was, what you could do. And if you're wondering how the glitch worked, essentially, all you would do, if I can recall correctly, you would put 2 TVs in your house, 2 Animal Crossing TVs, put 2 wooden tables, and you would move the TVs around the tables. You would then go downstairs, because it would have to be in your upstairs house room, go back upstairs, and there were suddenly like 5 of them, and then you would go sell them for like 100,000 bells. Like, bro, it was crazy. It was actually nuts. I wish I could show you the video, but if I even showed you that on this podcast or anywhere, even if I gave you like a link, it'd probably get taken down. So I don't really want to mess with Nintendo anymore. What I have thought about doing, though, is I did see someone on Twitter had a video taken down by Nintendo. What they did was they framed the email on their wall. I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to frame the email on my wall saying, hey, Nintendo took your video down. Like, that's kind of funny. But anyways, that's my story. That's my story of how a Nintendo video was taken down of mine by Nintendo. Scary times. Nowadays, they only take down things that, if you're posting gameplay early, or if you're covering like some undercover leaks or something, something like that. So that's all it is. With that said, it is time to get to your favorite segment of the week, the Answering Your Questions segment, where I, EmSwizzle, answer your questions you have asked me. Let's go ahead. Let's get to that. My friends, it is time to answer your questions you have left me. It's a great time. If you've never even sat through one of these segments before, it's so much fun, so stay tuned. Basically, I asked you all on my YouTube community tab on my main channel, link down below to access that. I said, hey, Mario Matter episode number 90, ask me questions, go. And you all left me questions. That is the way to ask questions. Once again, link down below. Every single Wednesday, I post on my YouTube community tab, ask me questions. Go. Now, if you have seen that post and you have asked a question and you want to get your question answered, you can become a Swizzle Prime channel member, which is the equivalent of a Patreon, if you know what that is, where you can pay monthly and get awesome perks. If you do pay monthly to my membership, you get exclusive podcast episodes, you get early access to my long-form videos and podcasts, you get guaranteed questions. It's very cool stuff. There's different tiers, so make sure that you choose the Swizzle Prime tier. Swizzle Prime tier gets you guaranteed questions on the podcast. So in this answering of questions, you'll hear me say, "Oh, channel member, this person asked this question." So they are members. They get guaranteed questions. So let's go ahead. Let's go and read our first question from Jerry's1194, who asks a spicy question. Rank all of the games in Animal Crossing. Now, if you don't know, Animal Crossing is my favorite franchise of all time. I'm going to be ranking the mainline games only here, okay? And the reason why I took this question on, I've said my ranking before, and I think I even did a YouTube short on it, like long ago. But it changes a lot, and it's a very juicy topic. So we have, 5 games to run through? Mainline Animal Crossing. There's, Amiibo Festival, there's Happy Home Designer, there's Pocket Camp. I'm talking mainline games, okay? From 5 to 1. So from worst to best Animal Crossing game. At the 5, I'm going to go Animal Crossing Wild World. Now listen, Animal Crossing Wild World on DS did the best it could. It was running on DS hardware. It couldn't handle very much. But with that aside, the game looks bad. It runs terribly. I understand. It couldn't run any better on a DS. But there's no way I can be playing that in the year 2024. I'm so used to better graphics. Wild World is borderline unplayable for me. And it's not just like the graphics are bad. You're only playing on one screen. Obviously, the DS is 2 screens. You're playing on a screen that is about maybe like 3-4 inches wide. It's so hard to do. It's like playing on a freaking Game & Watch. It's hard for me. It's hard for you. I don't like Wild World. It's a cool game. Like, it was a great concept for the second Animal Crossing game in the series, but I can't mess with it, right? So, Animal Crossing Wild World at the 5. At the 4, I am putting Animal Crossing GameCube. Animal Crossing for the GameCube was a very fun Animal Crossing game, and it has this 2000s charm that you can't get anywhere else. Even though it was essentially made in like 1999 on the N64, it has this charm that you can't really replace. And I think it was a great start for the Animal Crossing franchise. It can, in its own way, hold up to this day, and I think that's cool about it. I like Animal Crossing GameCube. That one's at the number 4. At the 3, I'm going to put Animal Crossing Wild World HD, essentially. That game was called Animal Crossing City Folk, or Animal Crossing Let's Go to the City, if you're in a different region. Animal Crossing City Folk is a game that I can go back to nowadays. It was on the Wii. It's great. It has more features than Wild World. It was essentially Wild World HD. The city was awesome. The features were great. And that was one of the last Animal Crossing games where the villagers were rude to you. And that's so much fun. So, City Folk at the 3. We go New Horizons at the 2. And Animal Crossing New Leaf at the 1. Who's better than Animal Crossing New Leaf? I think nobody. That's my tier list right there. And those two games explain themselves. New Horizons is a design machine, great game. But New Leaf, though, unbeatable. That game, the music, the charm, the happiness, the villagers, the villager voices, the art style, everything about it is great. Awesome. Tortimer Island, everything. Next question. Carter Sports 4 asks, favorite divine beast from Zelda? Oh, man. I don't remember any of them. Can I Google them? There's a few times on this podcast where people are like, favorite this, and I'm like, it's been 7 years. So let me check. Divine beasts. Let's check. Oh, the one that has the legs. I like that one. Let's see here. Rudania, Meadow. Oh, yeah. I like the Meadow one. Meadow. I like that one. The one with the flying dude. The Rito guy. I forget his name. I like that one. That one is my favorite. And by the way, that's Zelda Breath of the Wild, obviously, for those who do not know. Very cool. Next question, Gamer in Danger asks, do you have a backlog of games to play? Not like, not like I can't talk. Not like considering buying, but games you own and want to finish. Yeah, so that's interesting how you put the not like considering buying. Because when I tell people about my backlog of games, I include games that I have not bought, but like really want to play. So you're just talking about games that I already own and have not beat. Yeah, so my backlog is probably at like, of games that I own, maybe like 40 games. And you might sit there and be like, Max, how in the world is it 40 games? Here's why. Here's totally why. When I was younger, my family collected a crap ton of Wii games. And when I was younger, being like 4 or 5 years old, I, 1, didn't care to beat any of them. 2, didn't have the capability. Do you think 5-year-old me could have beat Donkey Kong Country Returns? I have beat that game, I think. But, just for an example, I couldn't beat that. I could beat simple stuff like Mario Bros. Wii, getting carried by my siblings in that game, right? I could do that. I couldn't beat all these Wii games that we've gathered over time. So I have to go back and beat like a bunch of those games. Wii U, same story. Wii U, I could actually like comprehend games. I was like 8, 9 years old when the Wii U was popular. I did beat a lot of Wii U games, but I did get stuck on a lot of them too. So I just dropped them overall. So a ton of Wii U games to go and beat. And honestly, exact same story with the Switch. 2017, 18, 19, I obviously knew how to beat games. I was old enough to know how to beat games. But at that point in my life, I was not really into Nintendo anymore. I was into I was in middle school. So I was just kind of like, yeah, sports and going to school and hanging out after school. And when I would play games, it was on PlayStation because that was what everyone around me had, So I wasn't into Nintendo as much. I had my Switch, obviously, but I just didn't really touch it. I think there was like an 8-month period where I did not touch my Switch. And nowadays, that's crazy to me. So nowadays I don't go more than like 2 days without playing Switch. So, yeah, about 40 games or so, which isn't a crazy amount. I can finish that at some point in my life, but it's for sure there. I can tell you that. Gonk the Droid, channel member, asks, "Who is your favorite Splatoon idol?" Splatoon idol? Do you mean like the Deep Cut crew or like the Squid Sisters, like Splatoon NPC? I guess favorite Splatoon NPC. I'm gonna convert that question. Is a Splatoon idol a thing? Like an idol? I'm gonna assume that means, crew member. Because my answer for that is Big Man from the Deep Cut. Now, if I misinterpreted your question, please ask it again next time, and I will answer it properly. Idol, I think, means crew member. Is there an idol in Splatoon? I have no idea. Pokemon Snacks asks, "What is your favorite sport in Wii Sports?" Haven't really thought about that one. I think I know the answer, though. I think bowling. Bowling, you can't really beat. Bowling, I like a lot. And it's not a specific thing that I like about bowling. It's more so things I don't like about the other games. For example, I don't love tennis because I'm not good at it. I don't love baseball because I'm also not good at it. I don't love the boxing mode because I don't feel like hooking up a nunchuck. And I don't love, what's the other one? Golf, because that's too slow, bro. I have a short attention span. I'm kidding. I have a decent, attention span. I just like the simplicity of bowling. I like how you only need one player. Obviously, you can play all the other sports with one player and play against CPUs. But I just like the simplicity, the single playerness, because I am pretty lonely, of bowling. It's nice. I've always liked it a lot. Amy Spence, would you rather have Mario Kart 9 or Mario Odyssey 2? 2 different games, 2 different consoles. I'd probably have Mario Kart 9 first. If I could only have one, yeah, I'd pick Mario Kart 9 because here's the thing. If you changed that question and said, "Hey, would you rather Mario Kart 9 or a brand new 3D Mario?" I'd say a brand new 3D Mario. My only thing is, I might still say Mario Kart 9, even if you posed the question like that. Because with Mario Kart 9, there's so many hours of gameplay there. There's hundreds and hundreds. With Mario Odyssey 2 or, whatever else, 30-hour game, see you later. Like, if I could only have one, I'd pick the one that lasts me the longest. And for that, I'd say Mario Kart 9. Camden, channel member, asks, "Do you like Sonic or Shadow better?" So the answer is Sonic. But when I was younger, I was a Sonic fan before I was a Mario fan. Or I think I was a Mario fan, turned Sonic fan, to turn back to Mario fan. When I was a Sonic fan, I liked Silver better than Sonic. So, that's not the question here, but like I liked Silver for a little bit, but I would say Sonic is my favorite Sonic character, I would say. I Like Trains asks, "When will you graduate?" I've graduated. I have. It's complicated, but I've graduated. No Name Game asks, "What's an important game from your childhood you believe is underrated and not many people have played / heard of?" Ooh. Man. Probably Shrek 2 for the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. I think it was on Xbox. Shrek 2 was my first game I ever played in the history of my life on the GameCube. And the reason why I recommend you that game is because I actually played it recently. So I recently got a PS3, like one of the backwards compatible ones, and I got some PS2 games with it. And Shrek 2 was, one of the ones I bought for PS2, and I was playing it recently. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, like, obviously the graphics are pretty crusty, but that game still decently holds up. Like, dude, like, that game could be ported, remade, and it would hold up. Like, that game is great. Apart from, like, just some 2000s game things, it's a fun little game, dude. Shrek 2? Play that. It's pretty underrated, I feel. Underrated. Shrek 2, PS2, GameCube, and probably the Xbox. Play Shrek 2. Even if you have to emulate it, play it, bro. Hamza, channel member. Sorry if I read a channel member question and didn't say, and you know, did not say channel member. I kind of forget sometimes. Who is your favorite Nintendo character? I'm guessing it's someone from Animal Crossing. That's a tough one. It probably is my favorite Animal Crossing villager. My favorite Animal Crossing villager is Fret, the dog. Fret is not a popular villager, so if you have no idea, if you have no idea who that is, I truly don't blame you. He was added in with the 2.0 update. However, he did exist, I believe, in the Animal Crossing GameCube game. Fret from Animal Crossing is my favorite Nintendo character. He's a G, bro. Fret is a G. Doggo, channel member, asks, create a Switch accessory. Oh, it's quite the task. Give me an accessory that allows you to eat snacks and play at the same time. Now, if you watch my YouTube shorts, you might hear that and think, Max, you just made a short about the ultimate car setup for the Nintendo Switch, and you said you got finger chopsticks so that you can eat and play at the same time. It's not very efficient. Give me a Switch Joy-Con grip where there's like a big plate in the middle, and you can like fill it with chips. And you can like bring the Joy-Cons closer to your mouth and like grab one, like, you know, give me that, bro. Would be sick. Marinsis Master, channel member, says, do you 100% complete video games? Sometimes. Most often not. I'll do it if it's a game that I love and it's easy to do. For example, Mario Bros. Wonder. It was easy to do. I mean, it took a few more hours than it should have, but that was super easy. Just to get all the purple coins and, you know, unlock all of the badges. Mario Wonder was real easy to do. That's probably one of the only games I've 100%ed, like, ever. Mario Bros. Wii. Yeah. So, sometimes, but not often at all. And then finally, Sam Kennedy asks, games likely to get final DLC before next console. DLC before the next... Okay, so what has released this year? We had Princess Peach Showtime. We had, you know, Paper Mario. We had not much Mario versus Donkey Kong. If you're asking me, as it stands right now, I don't know if any more DLC gets released for any Nintendo games. Like paid DLC? It would have to be something that comes out in the June Direct. Because, like, you're not adding DLC to Paper Mario. You're not adding DLC to Luigi's Mansion. You're not adding DLC to Mario versus Donkey Kong. You could add DLC to Mario versus DK, but, like, you're not going to. Princess Peach Showtime, no. Like, what are you going to add DLC to kind of thing? Nothing. I think nothing. It would have to be a big game shown in the June Direct that would make sense to get DLC. Aside from that, Pikmin 4, I think if they were going to make DLC, it's too late. It's not too late, but like they would have done it by now. Yeah, I feel like Side Order was the last big DLC. And that was for, obviously, Splatoon 3. I think that was like the last big here's DLC. Have fun, you know? I think that's it, probably. For now. Now, if they drop a new game in the June Direct and it's got DLC, I'm not shocked. But as it stands now, probably nothing. But that is it for the Mario Matter episode number 90. Now, for those holding out for that trivia question that I asked in the beginning of the podcast, I asked you all at the start, how many Joy-Cons can connect to one Nintendo console? Some of you might have said 4. That's not true. You have 2 Joy-Cons per person. The answer was C. You can have 8 Joy-Cons connected per console. Because if each person has 2, you have 4 controllers, that's 8 Joy-Cons. That's pretty... Wait. Yeah, that's right. You have 8 Joy-Cons, my friend. So that is the trivia question, and that is it for the Mario Matter. We appreciate your listenership, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I am going to touch on one thing right now. So a lot of you have been asking me, and I addressed this on Twitter yesterday too, yesterday as of recording this podcast. Where have the guests been on this show? I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, guys, guests coming soon, even though they are. I don't want to be the guy that just talks. Yeah, guys, I'm going to try really hard to get a guest on. And I've done that like in the past. I've told you guys and said, you know what? I'm going to try pretty hard to, get a guest on. So, next episode, I'll spill the beans right now. I'm spilling the freaking beans. Next episode is June Direct predictions. I will be recording that episode in advance because I will be out of town next weekend. So that will not have a guest. The week after that, if you don't see me on episode 92 with the guest, something went horribly wrong and you cannot trust me ever again. I shouldn't say that because, there's always a small chance something goes wrong. But there should be a guest on episode 92. Trust me. And there should be one. I'm not saying that there will be, but there should be one on 93. And my goal is to consistently get guests every other episode. And I'm for real this time. I know I'm owning up to it. I am the boy who cried wolf. I had said, guys, I'm trying real hard. We're getting guests on. I'm going to try my hardest coming up soon. So please look forward to it. And yeah, pretty cool. Rate the show 5 stars if you enjoyed. We'll see you next Saturday for even more Nintendo news. Adios.